case study in the Cameron Highlands, Malaysia, on factors affecting residents' attitudes towards agritourism. Chapter 1. Introduction. Background to the study. Agritourism is the world's fastest growing tourism sector. It's quickly spreading over the globe, including India, Taiwan, and Thailand. In Asia, for example, Maharashtra, India's first state, is a prominent proponent of tourism. A conference was conducted to encourage agricultural tourism and inform people among visitors on the event of the 10th World Agricultural Tourism Day. Tourism has the capacity to entice travelers, as we have seen. Problem statement. Agricultural tourist has always been popular among tourists, but it still must be improved to obtain greater outcomes. Many steps have been done to develop agricultural tourism in the Cameron Highlands, including infrastructural improvements and environmental protection. Nonetheless, there are still certain challenges that the farm tourism business must overcome. Objectives of the study: to examine the relationship between natural environment and residents' attitude towards agritourism in Cameron Highlands, to examine the relationship between tourism infrastructure and residents' attitude towards agritourism in Cameron Highlands, to examine the relationship between perceived social benefits and residents' attitude towards agritourism in Cameron Highlands. Significance of the study. The study's key finding is that the Cameron Highlands has a great deal of potential for becoming a popular tourist destination. Cameron Highlands satisfies all the criteria for a chilly climate and stunning landscape. Agricultural activities such as farms, sales of agricultural goods, and exchange of agricultural expertise are also among its basic activities. All these things can aid in the transformation of agricultural operations into organic resorts in the Cameron Highlands. Limitations of the study. The focus of this study was on the people's perceptions on agricultural tourists. In truth, an attitude is a preference, distaste, or emotion toward which has occurred. It functions as a person's instant reaction or reaction. As a result, the purpose of this research is to look at inhabitants' direct perceptions of farm tourism. Chapter 2. Review of literature. Dependent variable, attitude. Experiences organizes attitude, which is neutral or mental preparedness. As a result, it has the potential to alter a person's reaction to specific events and items. People's emotions, beliefs, and experiences may all have an impact on their behavior and decision-making. The subject's attitude judgments might be favorable or negative. Independent variables. Natural environment. The definition of habitat in this research is arguably too wide to incorporate natural, political, economic, and social culture. As a result, the scope of this research was limited to one component of the natural world. Independent variables. Tourism infrastructure. A structural feature created and built for using visitors is known as tourism infrastructure. Infrastructure consists of fundamental structures, gadgets, and institutions, and it is critical to economic and social processes. Tourism infrastructure encompasses a wide range of features, including buildings, service institutions, and local tourism goods, as well as the basic procedures that allow holiday operations to run smoothly. Independent variables. Perceived social benefits. This research looks at how to improve one's quality of life by working in the tourist business, and how to engagement in social contact by sharing information, experiences, and culture with new members. Residents in Cameron Highlands have been able to find work because of agricultural tourism. Agricultural tourism, from the farmer's perspective, acts as a strategy for farm succession by offering employment for him and his family. Natural environment, tourism infrastructure, and perceived social benefits affect residents' attitudes. Chapter 3: Methodology. The quantitative research method was adopted, and 382 people were interviewed by questionnaire. Chapter 4: Data Analysis and Results. Collenbach's coefficients for IV1, IV2, IV3, and DV are 0.790, 0.735, 0.897, and 0.921, respectively. Therefore, all the survey items used in this study are reliable and consistent. Assuming that hypothesis 1 is true, there is a substantial link between natural environment and resident attitude. Furthermore, tourist infrastructure has a substantial 0% significance level. Assuming hypothesis 2 is not true, the purpose of tourist infrastructure conduct has no impact on resident attitude. Hypothesis 3: there is a significant relationship between perceived social benefits and residents' attitude towards agritourism in Cameron Highlands. Chapter 5: Discussion. Implications. Agritourism has been explored by several researchers in their study. However, there is a scarcity of scholarly literature that focuses on the general opinion of agritourism. As a result, this study examines the link between both the four factors and the evaluator's attitude using three variables from several relevant theories and models. The natural environment, tourism infrastructure, and perceived social advantages are all variables. Chapter 6: Recommendations and Conclusion. Recommendations. In other words, inhabitants require tourist infrastructure to operate agricultural tourism activities in their everyday lives, and international tourism may assist them in such endeavors. The relevance of tourist infrastructure was proved by both positive and negative attitudes, which may lead to improvements in tourist facilities by relevant agencies or government. Conclusion. The results of multiple regression analysis after data were gathered via surveys suggest that the two independent factors are relevant for the population scenario, while the other independent variable is not. In other terms, in this study, the surrounding habitat and perceived social advantages may both impact people's attitudes towards agritourism. However, the other two independent factors couldn't. This might be related to how the public views tourist facilities. Thank you.